in doing your marketing. One of the things that I see that most businesses are not doing is sending out a basic newsletter, some way to contact customers and prospects after they've already done business with them, or even if a prospect is just called. And what I'm talking about here is the most basic form of newsletter is an electronic newsletter. You've seen them all the time. They're out there. Most people, especially bigger businesses, the bigger businesses are using them. But the smaller mom and pops tend to forget and tend to not really think about it. All we're asking you to do is get their name and their email address. That's it. Preferably you want their first name, their last name, and their email address. If you can get further information from them, that's great. But what you should be doing is you should be collecting that information, number one, from all of your customers, because your customers are your biggest advocates. They're the ones that are going to be able to promote you better, and they're going to also be the most willing to spend more money with you down the road, because they bought from you once. As long as you provided a good service and they're happy, they're going to be very likely to buy from you again. So what I want you to do is I want you to start out from now on always making sure that every customer, you always get their email address, and if they are your customer, you should be getting their first name and their last name also. And if for some reason decides somebody says that they don't want to give you their email address, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about that, or don't refuse service because they won't give it to you, something like that. Don't worry about it. But if you can get that from them, definitely do. Something you want to think about, if you've been to a Borders lately, probably within even the last year or so, that's something that they're starting to do on a regular basis. They're getting people on their list, because normally, say a Borders or any other kind of bookstore type of scenario, they generally have a lot of people that come and go, but they really don't know who their customers really are. So what they're doing is now when you go to check out, they're asking if you want to get on their newsletter, or on their get their newsletter. And what ends up happening is they ask for your email address, they put it right into the computer, and then you start getting their newsletter. Now the cool thing about that is that now they can send you specials, they can let you know what's going on. They've now also filtered you into their online system, because if you get an email from them talking about a special book or something and you just don't have time to actually go to the store and see if they have it, you can actually order it right off their website. So now they're adding that extra little bonus into it just by collecting your email address. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you collect your first name, last name, and email address from everybody you can that is a customer. Now here's the kicker. If they're a customer, you can pretty much put them in your database, but if they are a prospect, you want to make sure you get permission. So what you want to do is ask them if you can add them to the newsletter, or what's even better is you send them a single email saying thank you very much for stopping by, or it was great to meet you today, something like that. By the way, if you'd like to sign up for our newsletter, find out what's going on, click this link, and then you put a link that sends them to a form off of your website or your blog where they can actually sign up for their newsletter. You do want to be careful about that because of all the canned spam laws and everything that's going on. You don't want to be tagged as a spammer, because just because somebody gives you their email address does not necessarily mean they want your stuff. You got to be careful about that. If you send them a link that says, hey, here's our newsletter, go sign up, then if they've already said that they wanted it, then they're more likely to go ahead and fill out that form anyway. But that just helps you cover yourself. But what you want to do is you want to use this information and you want to touch base with your customers on a regular basis. To be perfectly honest, I would say at minimum once a month. You want to keep in touch with your customers on a regular basis so they don't forget who you are. It happens all the time. Alrighty, so that's one of the first things I want you to do is start collecting email addresses from your customers and putting together even a basic newsletter or a basic special, discounts of the month, things like that. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. Start with something simple. You can always make it bigger, but what you want to do is do a minimum of once a month and kind of start working your way up to the point where you're doing it every week or every couple of weeks. Alrighty? So there's my marketing tip for the day. Hope everybody's doing great. I hope you enjoyed this video, found it useful, and take action on what you're doing. Thank you very much. This is Eli with My Business Marketing Mentor, and take care.